She's one of the most popular new characters out there, and it was just announced in a few months she'll be joining the Avengers. What better time to get introduced to Kamala Khan, aka Miss Marvel. You might have seen the news stories about her or heard about how her series has sold so well it's broken records over at Marvel, so our episode today is dedicated to introducing you all to the new Miss Marvel. Question: do I need to read anything before starting the new Miss Marvel? Why are there two Miss Marvels? Is she connected to Captain Marvel? Why are there two Captain Marvels? Don't worry, because I'm here to give you everything you need to start enjoying this brand new character. Now, as always, if you think you have some idea of who she is and you just want the abbreviated version, then click here to skip right to the end of the episode for the summation. But for everyone else out there, let's begin the story of Miss Marvel. Kamala Khan is an ordinary girl living in New Jersey, and like most people in Jersey, her story begins
thousands of years ago, before the dawn of man as we knew him.
Okay, sorry, couldn't help it. But in all seriousness, to understand Miss Marvel, we have to go back thousands, millions of years even, back to the dawn of early man. Allow me to introduce you to the Kree, a race of aliens who have been a thorn in the side of humans for eons. And back when mankind was barely learning to walk, they came to Earth and realized that with a few simple mad science experiments, they could turn mankind into potential weapons for their never-ending wars. In the end, they decided to scrap the plan, but the damage was already done, and they had ended up turning a small portion of their test subjects into a new form of life known as Inhumans. These Inhumans were highly evolved and significantly more intelligent than their human brethren, and they decided to live in secret, splitting themselves off from mankind and living in isolation. But their heightened intelligence was just the start of their gifts, for years later the Inhumans discovered something known as Terrigen crystals. And they learned that when these crystals were exposed to water, they gave off a mist. And when an Inhuman was exposed to this mist, they underwent a transformation, emerging with strange new powers. These new powers could be anything from the godly to the seemingly insignificant, but it was the general belief of the Inhumans that whatever you emerged as after you underwent Terrigenesis was your true self, being brought out to the surface. Question: what does a race of secret super people have to do with a normal girl from New Jersey? Hold on, I'm getting there. Fast forward a few millennia later, and the Inhumans decided that they had to make sure that their race survived, so they came up with a plan. They would send members of their clan out to breed with humans, and they would then simply wait. Generations went by as the Inhuman descendants continued to multiply, believing themselves to be normal humans and not the descendants of a secret race of super beings. This finally brings us to the present. In the recent comic book event Infinity, the mad god Thanos came to Earth and attacked the Inhuman kingdom of Attilan as it hovered over New York City. The Inhuman King Black Bolt fought back by destroying the city and crashing it into the Hudson River, which activated a Terrigenesis bomb that erupted and spread a cloud of Terrigen Mist. The cloud slowly spread across the world, and as it spread, it caused anyone with traces of Inhuman DNA in them to transform and turn into their true Inhuman selves. Okay, now it's time for me to introduce you to Kamala Khan.
Finally! Yeesh!
Kamala was a regular girl growing up in Jersey City. She went to school, hung out with her friends at the Circle Q, had quality time with her family, and then spent every other moment of her day playing games online and writing fanfics about her favorite superheroes. That's right, first thing you need to know about Kamala Khan is that she's a geek. Just like you, just like me, she is someone who loves superheroes, and her favorite is Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who in her earlier days went by the name of Miss Marvel. So in case you tried to look up Miss Marvel and found her instead of her, now you know that she was the old Miss Marvel who now goes by the name of Captain Marvel. Okay, back to Kamala. One day her schoolmates invited her to a party which her parents forbid her from going to, but Kamala was tired of having to live different from the rest of the kids in her class. She was tired of never getting to go out and have fun like everyone else, so that night she snuck out. However, shortly after she got to the party, she realized that wasn't what she expected and that the people who invited her out might not actually be her friends. She headed home and reflected on whether or not she should have snuck out, when suddenly she stumbled upon a strange fog. See, all that stuff about the Inhumans was there for a reason. This was indeed the Terrigenesis mist that Black Bolt had unleashed, making its way through New Jersey. As Kamala walked through the fog, she underwent her Inhuman transformation, being swallowed up by a cocoon, and while inside, she had a dream that she spoke with Captain Marvel and the Avengers, in which she told them that she wished she could be more like them. She wished she could look like them and be special like them. When she emerged from the cocoon, she found that she was no longer the girl she was mere moments ago. Instead, she emerged looking just like Carol Danvers back in her old Miss Marvel costume. She quickly learned that she had the power to shapeshift, even being able to grow and shrink to great sizes, but she was unable to control these transformations as they shifted and swayed with her merest thoughts and emotions. She wanted to escape, but when she saw one of the kids from her school falling into the lake, she became suddenly focused and she charged in to save them. Now, Kamala had no idea she was an Inhuman. She was just a confused young girl trying to figure out what happened to her by typing weird fog into internet searches. So without anyone to guide her, she had to learn how to control her powers on her own. But when a mysterious villain known as the Inventor started kidnapping children throughout Jersey City, she realized that even if she didn't understand her powers, she had to use them for good. That she was the only one who knew what was happening, who noticed that these kids were missing, and she had to suit up to become an actual hero to save them. Together with her friend Bruno, who was smart enough to invent a shape-shifting costume for her to wear, the two of them trained in secret until she could understand her powers. But she still needed one last thing, a name. And she realized that Miss Marvel, that the person she wanted to be, could be her. That the title of Miss Marvel is something that belongs to whoever is willing to fight. And that's how this simple high school girl became the #1 defender of Jersey City and a comic book sensation. Now since then, her adventures have continued. She's fought the Inventor, teamed up with several other heroes, met the Inhumans, and even gotten a pet teleporting dog. Long story. And as I said, it was recently confirmed that she would be joining the Avengers later this year. But you don't need to worry about that. For now, you have all the information you need in order to start reading and enjoying the new Miss Marvel. But if you need a quick refresher, then hold on, because here comes the recap. The Inhumans are a race of super beings who have lived in secret from mankind since the dawn of time. Whenever an Inhuman is exposed to the Terrigen Mist, they transform and gain amazing powers. Generations ago, a group of Inhumans went out into the human world to breed, creating countless secret Inhumans living in the human world. In the present, the king of the Inhumans, Black Bolt, destroyed his own kingdom of Atlan, which unleashed a massive cloud of Terrigen Mist to spread across the world. The cloud transformed anyone with secret Inhuman DNA, giving them superpowers. Kamala Khan, a girl who loves superheroes and gaming, was sneaking out of her home to go to a party on the night when the Terrigen cloud spread across New Jersey. Kamala was one of these Inhuman descendants and was transformed by the mist. She found that she had shape-shifting powers and emerged dressed like her favorite superhero, Carol Danvers, in her old Miss Marvel costume. At the same time, a madman known as the Inventor started kidnapping kids throughout Jersey, and Kamala realized the police couldn't stop him, so it was up to her. She took on the name of Miss Marvel because she believed the title reflected anyone who was willing to fight for what was right, and that was going to be her. There you go, now you have everything that you need to know in order to go out and pick up the new Miss Marvel series. And to make it easier for you, I've included a link below of where you can pick up a copy of The Trade from Midtown Comics or digital copies of all the books through Comixology. Hope you enjoyed, and please come back next time for more lessons in geekery. And if you have a subject you'd like to see covered on Geekery 101, then leave it in the comments below or send me a tweet. And as always, if you like this video, then please share it and spread the word, or check out some of our other videos in the links provided here. Thanks everyone!